Good morning. Yesterday in our lesson, we began to explore emotions and how they made us feel using our five senses. Today, we're going to continue that lesson and we're going to define some emotions. We're going to talk about the meaning of 14 of those emotions. So I'm getting these emotions from the emoticons that were on this page. I included it in the lesson yesterday. You don't need to print it. I printed it because my daughter wanted to color them, and while we were talking about them last night, she colored them based on the color that she thinks matches that emotion. So for example, the first one we're going to talk about is aggressive, and she colored it red. So you can do that if you'd like to, but you don't have to. We're only going to focus on these first two rows. As you can see, they're in alphabetical order, and you might recall from our lessons in class that alphabetical order is when we take the first letter of each word and we order our words based on the alphabet, so A, B, C, all the way to Z. I'm going to start with aggressive. Aggressive is that feeling that you get when you really want something or want to do something and you try very, very hard to get it or to do it. You have to be careful with aggressiveness because sometimes you might end up hurting other people because you're so focused on getting something. Next, after aggressive, is angry. And I think that's self-explanatory, which means most of us know that feeling of being very upset about something. After angry, we have anxious. Anxious is that feeling you get when you're really nervous about something as you're waiting for it. Ashamed. Ashamed is when you feel badly about something you've done. Bashful is an emotion that you might not be familiar with, but I'm sure you've all felt it at some point. Bashful is that feeling you get when you don't want to be noticed and someone notices you. So when someone notices you, maybe the teacher calls on you in class and you really didn't want them to, and you feel really shy and bashful. Bored. Bored, again, I think is self-explanatory. A lot of you wrote about being bored in yesterday's assignment. Cautious. Cautious is when you're very thoughtful about being safe in something that you're doing. Confident. Confident is when you feel good about what you know or feel good about what you can do. Confused. Confused is that feeling you get when something you thought doesn't make sense. Perhaps you were given new information and things just don't make sense to you. Curious. Curious is when you want to know more. Depressed. So depressed is a feeling of intense sadness. It's sadness, but it's sadness that you have a hard time getting rid of. So even if you try eating your favorite food or playing your favorite activity, that sadness still remains. And that's the feeling of being depressed. Determined. Determined is when you've set your mind to doing something, and even if it's challenging, you keep working hard towards it to achieve what you want to achieve. Disappointed. Disappointed is that feeling when you thought something was going to happen and it didn't happen. And finally, the last word we're going to talk about today is disbelieving. And you have the feeling of disbelieving when you cannot believe that something is true. So those are the 14 feelings we've explored today. And we're going to explore them further in our EDSB lesson. So I want you to go back to the language page where I've posted this video and read the activity that I want to do with it today. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good day.